Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up-and-coming around the Lego world. I'm your Minifigure host, Matt. Let's bet on it. How's everybody doing this week, this lovely, whatever day it is that you are hearing this? Hopefully it is a lovely day that you are enjoying whatever peace and tranquility that is in your life, and you are just going with the flow, having a blast, doing your thing. Today, we're going to talk about some sets. Well, they seem to be a little bit different than what most people are used to. They really are. Most people don't look at this line, this theme, and say, wow, I've got to have it. Some people do. Mock purposes, or maybe they're just kind of into the theme in general, which is cool. Either way, I like the theme. I'm not a big mocker, but I like what it gives you. I like that it is something different that you can receive from the Lego brand of products. And that theme we're going to talk about today is Lego Friends. So back in March, there were 4 sets that came out. 4. Only 4. We're going to talk about 3 of them today. We're not going to talk about the shopping mall because the shopping mall is way too big. And that is going to be just way too much to discuss. And most of you are going to drone off probably after about 20 minutes. If not before. So if you're like, oh, I'm just going to start clicking ahead, don't click ahead. Here's why. There are some really cool things that you may be interested in a mock. We're going to talk about the set, but we're also going to talk about parts, pieces, animals that you might consider using in a mock, especially because so many of you do Lego cities and stuff like that. And you do, a clinic, or you do a zoo, or you do where a hospital, or you do. There's so many different things that you, just so many different things. So stay with me on it. Okay. Don't leave me. I promise you. It'll still be entertaining, although it's Lego Friends where some of you are like, oh my God, shut up already. So the first one that I wanted to talk about is called the Vet Clinic Rescue Buggy. It is 41442. Now, this one is a very, very tiny build. It has 100 pieces. It is a $10 build. It's super simple, super nothing to it, nothing over the top, very basic. What you would expect with I guess you could say it's more of like a polybag type of deal, right? So with this, you get an ATV that is used to transport, animals and remove them from situations and stuff like that. So there is an action feature that is here with a tree branch that is part of your little set build. But here's the thing that really blew my mind with this set. You get 2 mini dolls, not minifigs, mini dolls. You get 2 minifigs, one of which is blonde, the other that is brunette. And here's the thing. Okay, these young ladies, you get them, you have a little picnic mat and stuff like that. But here's the most attractive part. If you are a mock builder or a collector of things, animal type things, you're thinking, I'm going to create a pet shop. That's what I want to do. You get a baby Dalmatian puppy. Oh my God. If y'all know me by now. Hopefully y'all know me. I'm a dog person. I've got 8 of them. I've gone from puppy the whole way to end of life. And I currently have a 16-year-old. I don't know how she's still kicking, but she's still rolling. However, with this build, what you are getting is you have a nice little tree here that is obviously, like I said, it has some movement capabilities in here. You have what is supposed to be like a water feature. It is brick built. It is not like we have seen with Monkey Kid and some of the other things. It is, plates and tiles and slopes and stuff like that, where you're just supposed to be like, oh, this is water. Oh, good. Oh, cool. Awesome. But you also get a terrain build as well. And what I will say, for a $10 value, your ATV is nice because you have a spot where you can put your pup that is in the back. You could put him in there, or her. There's a bottle if you have to bottle feed it. I've never bottle fed a dog, even a puppy. I've never done that. So I'm assuming that's a thing. But you also get some other things as well. The puppy gets a little bone and stuff, and I just can't get enough of these animals with Lego Friends. They have these eyes that are just like, oh my God, I love you so much. I just want to take you home. I could go into a shelter to foster a dog, and I want to take home 30 dogs. And I use my better judgment. And I'm like, no, I can't do that to us. My wife is a bad influence. She'll be like, I want all 30. So this is a neat little build. It's a $10 set. It is what it is. You get your ATV, you get your build, you get your 2 mini dolls, which are nice. You get your 2 mini dolls. That always works. Like I said, it was a big surprise to see 2 of them with this price point, but whatever. And then you get your Dalmatian puppy, which if you are looking for it, this is the way to go. So the next set we're going to talk about is the Vet Clinic Ambulance 41445. And so I know I did some injustice earlier when I was talking about the last set, and all these characters have names. All of them have names. Like for this set, you get Emma and you get Olivia. You get 2 mini dolls with this set. Obviously, the price point is different. The other one, you get Andrea and Stephanie. I have it right here in my notes. I apparently glossed right over it, but whatever. Moving along, back to the Vet Clinic Ambulance. You have 2 things going on here. You have a set build and you have an ambulance. And I got to tell you, the ambulance looks like something that should be in like Whoville. Like it just looks funky in the front with kind of like the rounded snub nose that is going on and the front wheels that are kind of hanging back. It's kind of funky, and it's rounded around the back for good reason. It is rounded for a good reason. So don't fear. We'll talk about it. So what does this thing have to offer? Well, it has a lot to offer. So as far as your build, as far as your tree, I guess you could call it a tree house. It's a tree house, but it's not like a full-on tree house. So let's start on the bottom level. On the bottom level, you have some function that comes with it. What you're intending to do is you are intending to save one of the animals, and we'll talk about the animals here in a little bit. You're intending to save one of the animals from a whirlpool that is going on. You have a sticker on I think it's a 2x2 tile here that is stickered here. Maybe it's a 3x3. Rounded tile that is stickered here, and they use the splat gears. They use a small one and a big one, and you're spinning around and stuff like that. And it's supposed to be this whirlpool, like, oh my God, save yourself, run! And what is going on is you have a little tiny plant build that is here that is attached to the big splat gear, and you can put an animal there because there's a stud there. So you can put an animal there, you're spinning around and you're rolling this thing around, and just above that, there's a basket to save the animal that is clung on to pour their dear life to try and save their life. You know, they are clung on to that branch, that foliage to save their life. But as we move across the front, you see a sign, and it is stickered, of course, right? It is stickered. It is a 2x2 tile that is put in an angle so it looks like a diamond. And it, has a warning exclamation point for whirlpool, or you could say rip current, right? Because if you've ever been to the beach, and if you've ever been to the beach, there's always a chance for a riptide. And if you've never been to the beach, a riptide is when, like, if you live in the middle of the U.S. and you've never seen a body of water other than a lake, when you go somewhere like the oceans, like a Gulf or something like that, and there is a riptide, what happens is the water coming in, the wave coming in, what ends up happening is it is pulling faster outward than the water is coming in. So what ends up happening is you start getting drug out further and further and further, and you can paddle your butt off. It really doesn't matter. So here's a little bit of knowledge. If there is a riptide, you find yourself, you're like, oh my God, I keep getting sucked out. What is going on? Don't panic. Take a deep breath. I know that's hard to do. I know you want to be like, oh my God, I'm panicking. I'm freaking out. What you have to do, take your deep breath, not of water, of oxygen. Take your deep breath, and you're going horizontal or parallel to the beach. Whatever the beach area is or rocky area, you're going to go parallel with that. Swim 25, 30, 50 yards, and then start swimming towards the beach line, towards the beachhead, because then you should be out of it. Anyway, just safety measure. I want to keep all you people out there safe, especially, I know summer's coming to a close. People are at the beach. Just Just be careful out there. Okay. Educate somebody else. So right next to that, we have a ladder that is going up. It is in that nice magenta color. Dude, I'm loving this. Full on ladder. So let's pretend there's a bear. You want to enter in a bear or some kind of fierce animal from Lego City, right? Because we have those. We have panthers and we have wildcats and we have bears and we have crocodiles and all kinds of things. So oh God, there's an alligator, a crocodigator coming. Oh, put up the ladder. We got to save ourselves. You could do that. Right next to that, you have an area where your animal, because there is an anti-stud, I'm going to call it an anti-stud hole in between the paws that can fit in here. And your animal has a water bowl. And it also has what is supposed to be like dog food or cat food or some kind of food. It just has a paw emblem on it. We've seen these printed tiles before. It's not anything new. So moving to the rear of this, you have the base of the trunk of the tree, which is forward compared to the next section. So you have that. You have a carrot that is growing, which, you can use because you do have a baby rabbit that is in here. Oh my God. You're like, you know what? I created this garden and I have this carrot that is sticking up out of the ground for this baby rabbit that I just found. Totally, completely believable. So moving up to the second level here, what we have, we're going to start on the left again. You have a mechanism, basic, simple mechanism. It is using a 1x2 brick that has a hole for a pin, and you're using a few, I think it's one technical element here, a piece of rope, and basically what is all that this thing is doing is attaching to a basket, and you can lower the basket and raise the basket. You put the basket down, and what happens is it gets close to the vegetation where this whirlpool or riptide or undertow is. Animal pretend jumps into it. You lift it back up. Oh my dear God, I saved Bobby the rabbit from death. Whatever. Now, I will tell you, whoever is on the second level is going to have to reach over the balcony because it is not high enough. That is one of the minimal complaints that I have that Lego should have done. They should have made this probably about 2 bricks, maybe 3 bricks higher so that it was more plausible. 2 probably would have done it. 3 may have been a little bit too high. So inside of your treehouse on the second level here, or on the balcony of your treehouse, it is a purple plate that is used here, a few plates that are used here, and you have some binoculars that are stuck here to be able to look out and check out the land. I don't know what is on the other side of those binoculars. I understand there's some water that is next to this treehouse, but what are we in the mangrove forest? What else is here? I don't know. It's kind of bizarre, especially if there's a riptide or a whirlpool right next to a tree. That doesn't seem plausible. Just kidding. I know it's fiction, whatever. Moving along, what we have in the center part of the tree here is you have a 2x2 round sticker that has some ladybugs on it. The ladybug's actually cool. It's one of my favorite insects because they kill all kinds of bad things, especially aphids, which aphids are bad for my garden. So yeah, I love ladybugs. And you can get them frozen. Did you know that? You can get frozen ladybugs and then you thaw them out and you can put them in your garden. And it just destroy all the bad bugs, right? To the right of that, what you have is you have a ladder. You have a 1x6 plate that is used here, a nougat plate that has some cheese wedge magenta tiles that are on it. And what is used here is basically as a ladder. That's really all you're intended to be. And then you have some foliage that is attached to it. On the back side, what you have is you have a spot to put your animal, whatever animal it might be. And there's a few animals we're going to talk about. You could groom them, or you could feed them. There's a brush. There's also a bottle that you can, shove in their mouth, like when they're not expecting it. And they're like, what do you put in my, I like what's in here. There's good stuff in here. So as you move to the third level, what you have is just a simple spot. You can stand a mini doll, the 2x2 rounded tiles that have a stud, an open hold stud that is on top. Obviously that is not going to be able to hold a mini doll that is here. Obviously their legs are not that far apart, but you could put 1, you could put 2, or you could put 1 and an animal, or you could put 2 animals. You could do whatever you want. There's also some foliage up here, and there's also another sticker on a 2x2 round tile that has 2 animals. They look like cats. I'm going to call them cats that have some hearts with it. So you do have that. It does look nice. It is something functional. It is something playable, and it does actually look better than what it does. You get a lot of nougat that comes with it. So let's talk about the aminals. I know I totally said that wrong on purpose, so don't yell at me. Don't send me any hate emails, okay? So before we move on any further, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. You get 3 of the cutest animals in the world, okay? You get a baby bunny. A baby bunny is so tiny. I'm holding him in my hands right now. I'm looking, I'm like, I want a baby bunny. I remember. Okay, story time. I'm going to need you to just step back and relax, okay? When I was between 10, now it's probably like 11 and 13. During the summer months when my mom, dad, they were off at work, kids are off, from school. Kids are doing their thing. We went to my grandparents' house, and my grandparents lived next to a cemetery. I've already told you all that before. Okay, if you're new, welcome to the world. However, with that said, endless open land. You see rabbits all the time. I don't see them so much here in Texas anymore. But you saw rabbits everywhere, and they dig burrows, and they they put their young in these, they use some of their fur, they use some vegetation and stuff like that, and they put their young in these burrows and stuff like that. And one day I happened to be mowing my grandparents' lawn, which was, I don't know, probably about 1.5 acres, 2 acres maybe. And yes, at a young age, I was on a riding mower, and I was mowing it, and I saw this rabbit, and the rabbit scurried away real quick. I was like, oh my God, what had just happened? I thought I killed an animal. I was freaking out. And I found this hole, and it was full of baby rabbits. Like, because you put your hand down hole. Groundhogs are everywhere in Pennsylvania where I grew up. They're everywhere. Groundhogs or woodchucks, some people call them. They're everywhere. And they were notorious in that region. So you put your hand down there, you're like, oh, get out of here. Shoo, you bad groundhog. Because they have tunnels that go on forever. No, it was rabbits. It was baby bunnies. And I had a glove on and reached down and grabbed it. I'm like, oh my God, it's baby bunny. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to take it home. Obviously, I'm not taking it home. Put it back in, cover up the nest. It's fine. The old wives' tale is, if you touch it, the mother won't come back. That's a lie. Move along. However, back to reality here. Back to present day. This baby bunny reminds me of something. It's all white, has some beautiful, pretty black eyes, and then it's got like a heart-shaped nose, which, of course, that's Lego Friends. That's what they do with their animals. The other one that I have here is a dark bluish gray colored cat. It's got white face print on it. It obviously has the pink nose, pink mouth, stuff like that. That's what little kitties in the Lego Friends world look like. It's really nicely done. It only has the stud on the bottom, just like the bunny does. And then we move on to the larger cat, the more, maybe we can call it an adolescent or a mature cat, whatever you want. This one has the tan color, and then it's got its pretty, printed decoed eyes that are here, and its white muzzle as well, with the pink as well. And then you also have some white on the chest, which is really nice. I do like that. And then obviously white on the paws, the little socks that they have. My old pup, she's got socks on her feet. So you have that. This one, of course, again, one stud. So you can put these anywhere you want. I did not put the big cat in the basket. I'm pretty sure the big cat doesn't fit in the basket, at least not appropriately. It can fit. It just does. It looks really weird. So you can put the bunny there. You can put the kitty there. You want to do whatever you want. So in my opinion, I like that part of it. It is a really nice set, but there's more. So what this comes with in vet ambulance. Of course it does. Why wouldn't it? So your vet ambulance, on the outside, it's white. It has different colors of light azure blue and cool blue and just some really cool aqua type colors. And then it's got the coral around the top. And then, of course, it has a removable top as well, which has some lights on it that look like something that should be on a police car, even though it's not a police car, which is kind of odd to me. And then you have a giant sticker that has a paw that has it kind of like a heartbeat monitor sign going through it. And on the inside of this, there are play features on the inside. When I say play features, what I mean is you can do things on the inside of this. So on the inside, the right side, if you're looking at it from the rear, or the left side, if you're looking at it from the front. But driver if you're in the driver, it's the right side, right? So you can fit your mini doll behind the steering wheel. It is centered. There is a clasping area for her feet. On the right side that swings open, you have an X-ray of a poor little kitty. It's so cute. Behind that, because you can move it, you have a lab jacket. You have another sticker that also has a bunch of different things that you're going to find. You've got a spoon. You've got that thing they shove in your ear to check the look in your ears. God, I hated that as a kid. I hated it as an adult. Like, leave my ears alone, dude. And then you have a little wash area, a little sink area. And then on the left side of this thing, what you have is you have a stethoscope that is used here. And I love the stethoscopes that are used here in Lego Friends. You have an examination table that has a light that it can be flipped up or flipped down. Obviously, when the roof is on, it's got to be put down in the more down position. You have a baby bottle here, and then you have something else that almost kind of looks like some kind of weird curd, or I don't know what this thing, maybe it's supposed to be an ice pack or something like that, but you have that as well. And then you also have a spot that has a scale. It is an aqua tile, 2x2 tile, and then it has a print here that shows you a scale. On the outside, this is what is really cool to me. On the outside, you have a window. So if you've ever been to like a food truck, you know that when you walk up, they've got this open space. You walk up like, I want my order to be such and such. I want French fries or whatever. I don't know. Or fish and chips. You know, you awesome people over there in the UK. So what you can do is you can walk up there, you can put your animal in there and put in this little bay for the doctor or the vet to examine it. I really like that. That's a really cool play feature. It's a really cool idea. It really works well, and I really don't have any complaints with it. Next to that, you have another paw symbol, the same one that we saw on the roof, just much larger. On the back side, you have another sticker as well. It says Vet05, which, of course, that's important as well. Why wouldn't it be? So as a whole, all right, so your two mini dolls, as I talked about, you have Emma, you have Olivia, and I don't know the difference between the two of them. I'm just gonna roll with it, and I'll be honest, I hope that it's correct. So one of which you have is she's got a nurse's hat that sticks in the top of her hair, and then she has a bow that sticks on the back of her hair into the hole in the back of her head. I know it seems morbid. It really seems morbid. They don't stay too well. If you're looking to play with these, they're not going to hold together pretty well. I like that mini doll. And the other one, she's got the more of the brunette colored hair, the darker colored skin, more of the brown colored skin versus the more tan. And I've got to say, I really like the way these look. The printing is really nice, especially on the second one here. I don't know who it is. I know, I'm so sorry. But she's got this beautiful print that is supposed to be like this jacket that is on there, but it's kind of like this iridescent printing color that is on here. It's so beautiful. I really like the way that it is done. So the last set, I know you're like, oh my God, you're killing me already. The last set that we're going to talk about today is the Heart Lake City Vet Clinic 41446. And the reason we have to talk about it is because there's more animals. If you don't love animals, I don't know that we can be friends. I can try. I'll try. You know what? I will try. I will try with love to be your friend. So let's talk about this set. All right. So what we have here, you have an actual vet clinic. You have a nice vet clinic building. And then you also have you have another tiny build that goes along with this, but it's not attached. So let's talk about the vet clinic itself. The vet clinic is made up of 2 levels, which is really nicely done. Nice details, nice build, nice color, nice idea behind it. And if you've ever been to a vet clinic or multiple vet clinics, you already know kind of what you're walking into. Although there is a tiny twist because they do take horses here. So with this vet clinic, let's start on the left. What you have is you have a nice little terrain build that is on the bottom. You have some vines that are growing down on the left side. You have a door. Of course you have a door. Why would you not have a door to be able to enter? You have a glass door that opens that can be entered into. As we move to the right, what you have is you have a double horse door in that aqua color for a horse pen, for a stable. There's some hay that is on the inside. There's a water fixture that's on the inside. There is a bucket that you can place on the inside as well. And that is where you can put your horse. Of course, we'll talk about the horse. Of course. Sorry, that was a throwback to Home Improvement, the show. All right, so let's go to the second story. Up above, you have a slanted roof. I really like the way the roof is done here. It's not flat. It's not arched front. It is slanted from the left to the right if you're looking at it from the front. It does have a solar panel on the top. Hello, renewable energy. Hello, Lego. Back inside, what you have is behind the glass windows, what you have kind of like a, maybe not necessarily an infirmary, but you have like an area where you can, put in tiny animals in cubicles. What they use is these tiles that have sides on the they have sides on the side and then on the back. It's a 1x2 plate tile that has the sides that is on it. Okay. So 2 of those butted up next to each other. You have kind of like a little area. You have a 2x2 space. You can put tiny little friends animals, or maybe even tiny little, Lego City animals, and that works as well. And this other thing is supposed to be that I'm assuming it's supposed to be a scale that is up here. It's really nice as well. You have an area where you can store some equipment. You have some drawers. You've got your stethoscope. You've got a spoon. I don't really know what you need a spoon for in a vet clinic, but you need a spoon. And then you also have some x-ray type stuff that is up here as well. I really like the way this looks. It's really nice. You have a nice light that is over the exam area, or you can, maybe if you put it in your mind, like, you know what, this is a heat lamp, even though it's not red, it uses the yellow 1x1 plate that is in here. However, you could pretend, oh, this is just heating up whatever pups or cats or dogs or rabbits or bunnies or chickens or frogs or whatever, whatever animals they use here in Lego Friends. And then to the other side of that, you have a door that goes to a balcony and just a little area where you guys can, put your mini dolls and they can talk or they can chat, get away from the animals and be like, you know what? I think I'm going to take that animal home. It's too cute. I don't know how I can survive. And then you walk back in and they're like, oh, nothing ever changed. Up above that, though, on the front, and I missed this detail, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So there is a face of a dog. It is supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be like a French bulldog, and it's got the big droopy lips on the side, and it's got an eye that is kind of down, and then an eye that's wide open, and an eye that is down is kind of like, half closed or 2/3 of the way closed or a third of the way closed. And it's got some droopy ears. I think this is meant to be like a dog that is injured. I need help. That's really cool. Instead of using a sticker here, I love the brick built idea behind it. I think that really works well, especially for what this is. So moving on to the secondary build. Your secondary build has some really cool things on it because this is meant to bring in one of your animals. So you have a baby turtle or tortoise, perhaps, that is breaking out of a shell. And what they are doing is they have to cross a brick-built road. They actually use a plate here that has some tiles on it that makes it look like a road. And they're trying to cross into the sand and then back into the water. What I really like is the warning sign that is here is actually able to be moved up or moved down. So if you want to store this thing, you can absolutely store this thing and put it away for the time being. Let's talk about figures. So you have a multitude of figures that are in here. You have Donna, you have Mia, and you have Savannah. You have a number of figures. How can you not love multiple figures, multiple mini dolls? Even if you're not a mini doll person, you still have to appreciate the fact that you are getting mini dolls in here, because at day's end, you really need to understand what is going on with this stuff. It really works well. So let's talk about Mia. Mia comes with a saddle. She's supposed to be the horse rider. She's supposed to be the horse tamer, the greeter, the what do they call them? A farrier. She's obviously not a farrier. She's not clipping the nails on the horse. But Mia has bright red hair. I really like the way that's done. She has a jacket as well that kind of goes over the shirt that she's wearing underneath. It's really nice. It has a paw print that is underneath. I really like the way that it is done. I really like the way it looks. And again, mini dolls just seem to be the thing. So the next one here is Savannah. And well, Savannah is a dark-haired individual. She's got sunglasses on. She has a sand green torso. And then she's got a blue jacket that kind of goes over the top. Here's the kicker. She is blind. She has a service animal. She absolutely has a service animal. Her service animal is a cute little puppy that uses that tan color, that has the harness that is on in the middle. You know, usually on service dogs, they're always in a harness. And on the harness it's pink, and then they have a heart that is on it as well. She comes obviously with her cane, I think they call them canes, right? And she is using that to obviously get around and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. We've seen that in Lego City. Now we're seeing it in Lego Friends. I would love to see it in other things. Obviously, Zane's not magically going to lose his sight or sense of smell in Ninjago or something like that. It doesn't happen that way. But it's nice to be able to see that. It's nice for kids that have disabilities to be able to use something like that as well. I really do appreciate that. So the next character, obviously the last character we're going to talk about, because she is the last one in this set. The only character we have not talked about yet, and that is Donna. And Donna is supposed to be the vet, and she has a nurse's hat on that goes on top of her hair. She has the brown hair. She has the brown colored skin. She's got the nice teal colored pants. I really like the way those look. She's got a paw print on her jacket/vest shirt as well. And she's got a tag that's on there. I really like the way this is done. Here's the issue that I have with these. When you put something on top of a mini doll's head and you're going to go play with it, it does not work. It does not work. It just always falls out. It's a pain in the butt, and I hate it. You also get animals, right? You get a little puppy. You get a little tabby cat, which is so cute. And then you get a horse. And Lego Friends does horses better than Lego City does. Lego City, I'm going to need you to step up your game. So this horse has a few different things that is on it. You have a spot that on its tail where you can put a flower, and there's supposed to be a flower on its tail. Be careful however you handle this, because they don't stick all that great. There's one on its mane as well. And then there's also a spot to be able to cover the horse's back, or you can put the saddle on and ride the horse if you are the mini doll or whatever. The legs are not posable. You cannot move the legs around. However, the tail can move around just ever so slightly, and the head can dip down to pretend, oh, hey, I'm assuming it's a she. She got flowers all over her. Or maybe it's a he. This horse is feeding, and there's that. You have that kind of like a dark tan color. I really like the way this looks. The printing on everything looks great. I really don't have a problem with this whatsoever. Lego Friends, if you are not into Lego Friends, that's fine. I'm not asking you to be. All I know is two things. Lego Friends brings a lot of interesting creations as far as animals, which I love. Just personally, I absolutely love. And then they, the mini dolls aside, mini dolls aren't for me. I don't really care about the mini dolls. It's the builds. It's something. So this vet clinic, it's a $40 set, right? 258 pieces. This is something you can put up. Maybe not in a city, but if you did like a smaller city, like I've talked about in the past, like with Monkey Kid, those small little side builds of Monkey Kid, you can fit them in there along with this. You can kind of go together with everything if that's what you want to do. Or maybe this gives you inspiration. Maybe you say, you know what, I'm going to take that French Bulldog off the front and I'm going to put it on a vet clinic that I'm making of my own. You can do that. You absolutely 100 bajillion% can do that. And Lego wants you to do that. So talking about these three sets today, is the value there. The Rescue Buggy, I don't think is worth $10. I really don't. I know it's 100 pieces, maybe $7. I think it's a little too priced. $6.99 is where I'm thinking. The Vet Clinic Ambulance, $30. I don't have a problem with. It's 300 pieces. The Heart Lake City Vet Clinic that we just talked about more previously at the $40 price point, fewer pieces, I have more of an issue with, but here's why it's more expensive. The horse. huge giant chunk of plastic that does not move other than the head. Giant plates that are used. Giant doors for the enclosure for the horse. Side paneling. Big, giant, chunky plastic. That's where your price is at. Do I agree with it? No, maybe not necessarily. But it is a cool build. It is playable. It does have function to it. And if you are an animal person, maybe you're like, you know what? I can't spend $40 on it right now. Maybe you just buy the animals outright on bricks and pieces. Maybe what you do is you decide, you know what? I'm going to take and kind of modify what is here and build upon it. Maybe that's what you're going to do. And that's what I was talking about in the beginning as far as mocking. Mocking can be whatever you want it to be. You could take this set. You could take 2 of these sets and kind of build back up to it on the back side of it and make it, a symmetrical build, a mirrored build. Change some things on the inside. And here's the thing. Ever since Lego Elves went away, which I was deeply saddened. I mean, they took Nexo Knights away from me. They took Lego Elves away from me. They took Rescue away from me back in 1999. I hate you for that. But with that in mind, you get colorful pieces. If you're looking for something that is colorful, tiles, plates, bricks, weird pieces that you might not find anywhere else, because when you build these sets, they come with a baggie of like bottles and stethoscopes and all that kind of weird stuff. You can get that. You can absolutely get that kind of stuff. So there is always that option to be able to get that kind of stuff and enjoy that kind of stuff. So at the end of the day, I really don't have any issue with these price points, aside from I'd like to see them maybe just a little cheaper. Of course, I'm always looking for a deal. So with that said, this is going to wrap up this lovely episode talking about Lego Friends, which I know most of you are like, what are you even talking about, dude? We always do Friends, just in a smaller capacity. It's not released as often, but they do have some cool stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, things are already rolling out for the summer season, which is even cooler yet. So I will talk to you guys next time. We have a busy week coming up. Just keep that in mind. We have Lego Masters review show, discussion show. We have Lego Masters interview show. And we have something new, of course, the Harry Potter set we have to talk about, which will be coming later this week. So until then, I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it.